If you're only doing body weight, booty stuff, and a lot of band stuff, I promise you, you're not going to get very far. But if you throw it in as a little bit of extra because you have the time and the recovery capacity and your glutes are the primary focus, sure, I don't see any downside to it. But you're not going to get very far if you don't focus on your squatting, lunge variations, deadlifting variations, especially Romanian deadlifts, and hip thrusts. I'm going to say it, like, I think those are pretty good. And then other hip extension movements, you get a glute ham raise machine or a hip extension bench. And I think that, and especially, and then training frequency. So if you're doing it once a week, okay, not bad. Maybe hitting them twice a week is probably going to be better. And if your lower body growth is your priority and you're a fairly experienced trainee, well, you may want to put some of your upper body stuff into more of a maintenance volume while you very aggressively pursue growth on the lower body. Can you train them all together and grow everything? Of course you can, absolutely. But then look at how much time do you have to train each week? Are you optimizing your nutrition? Are you getting good enough sleep? If you're not sleeping well, then you're not going to make optimal progress on muscle growth. Are you trying to diet and lose body fat at the same time you're trying to aggressively grow your glutes? We wouldn't do that with any other muscle group, so it doesn't work here either. And often it's women who are more interested in building their glutes. And women on average, more often face a little bit more pressure than men to look a certain way, right? I mean, I think we all have aesthetic goals, but like, let's say professional athletes, when was the last time, outside of like Cristiano Ronaldo, who's already got the abs, did you hear people criticizing or critiquing what men are wearing or like how fit they are? There are occasionally examples within sport where I'm a Blue Jays fan. I'm in Canada. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr., young star, he was overweight his first probably season or so. And he was the number one prospect in all of baseball. And then he got himself in shape. And then he went off and he had an MVP caliber season. Sure, that's relevant in terms of performance, but it's not like they were critiquing him for how he looked. Whereas female athletes, tennis players, especially over the years, I've grown up watching a lot of tennis, would often face scrutiny over their physical appearance. And that can trickle down to everyday women. But point being, I wouldn't try to aggressively pursue losing body fat and growing muscle at the same time, unless you're a total beginner. And even then, right, I would probably direct your efforts, go through a phase where you're aggressively trying to build muscle, be in a minor calorie surplus, not something that's going to spill over to a ton of body fat, and then maybe do mini cuts with your nutrition so that way you can make sure your body fat's not getting, too high. So that's my philosophy towards glute growth. You have to create an optimal recovery and growth environment too. It's just as important as the training.
Yeah, I think you covered it super well there. I couldn't get into any more depth. As you mentioned towards the end, what I see often is that someone will be, they do tend to be a beginner, really wanting to push the glute growth, but they'll also want to be in a calorie deficit at the same time. And they kind of want everything. And I don't think they understand. As a beginner, they can definitely make great gains, but there will come a certain point, if you're always in a calorie deficit, it's going to be quite tough. As you said,